It lays the predicate and the foundation for the development of a weather satellite that will permit man to determine the world's cloud layer and ultimately to control the weather, and he who controls the weather will control the world. That will permit man to determine the world's cloud layer, and he who controls the weather will control the world.
Never forget, this bill in 2001 referred to chemtrails as an exotic weapon. Again, this is HR, stands for House of Representatives, HR 2977, okay? And this is about a bill to stop and restrict weapons in space. Scroll down, you will soon see exotic weapon systems such as electronic, psychotronic, and information weapons. 2. Chemtrails. 3. High altitude, ultra low frequency weapons, which is actually basically 5G like weapons, EMF weapons, more like 3G, 2G. Boom, laser weapons.
Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning. Go ahead.
Well, this fascinates me in part because, too, I remember reading the stories that China had used this during the Olympics, that the USSR had used this after Chernobyl to create rain clouds. I mean, did those really work then? We have some of these capabilities now?
Even in the 60s, the CIA used this to bring down monsoons during the Vietnam War, to wash out the Viet Cong.
Boom, laser weapons, strategic, theater, tactical, or extraterrestrial weapons, and chemical, biological, and environment and climate or tectonic weapons, which they have all of. This means they can make earthquakes, they can make hurricanes. This bill never passed. This was a House of Representatives trying to get the word out about this stuff. It's right here, plain to see. Look up these terms, look up these keywords, look up this bill, HR.
Good evening, freedom fighters. It is 8:39 p.m. Florida time, East Coast time, United States. That makes it 8:39 a.m. Philippines time and 4:39 p.m. Alaska time. A.m. in the Philippines. I did not get that correct. Sometimes I don't have a script here like most of your fake weathermen. But did our mad scientists switch gears on us? 80% development. It was, I think 60 earlier when I looked at it. Now it's totally switched around, and this thing was just offshore. 15-mile-an-hour winds just hours ago. But here's their new storm, 80%. I don't even see the potential of this, even though it's still spinning out here. Let's go to the very unusual radar signal. Look how they push this massive cold front system down with this technology. You can see how the atmosphere is being pushed right there. They push it all of a sudden with this technology. Pushing everything to the south, very clearly can see here. Really didn't know what to start with today, whether I should start with the massive chemtrail operation that was in Canada this morning at daybreak. This is 11 hours and 14 minutes ago. You can see the very distinct lines from aircraft. That is not condensation. It is chemicals, up to 50 different kinds of chemicals and compounds, metals, aluminum, barium, nanoparticle materials that's highly flammable. Not to mention that they are actually creating these lines over top of some very heavy fires at this minute as well. That's all fires. Stand by. You can clearly see all the fires out of control. All of Canada is out of control. None of these fires are contained. They are not interested in putting them out. I wish we had some firefighters that could actually tell us what's going on, but that is not what they're interested in. They are not interested in the truth whatsoever. A lot of fires in South America that I went over previously, some fires straight across where they also need the smoke to create these Atlantic hurricanes. It's odd that the rest of the world is not on fire and they burn it. Australia will. Right now they're coming out of winter as we are about to go into winter. But we are on fire, and these are all, from what I previously stated, was my speculation, are lasers that my family actually helped put up the first generation Star Wars system. But stand by. Let me show you what I've seen so far today. This is my second attempt to get a video out, but the audio was destroyed on the last one. I didn't have it set right. But this is a massive chemtrail operation that you can witness here that is going on. Let's move it. That is going on up here earlier today with all this smoke. You can see the lines very distinct over Lake Winnipeg. But watch how this material, it's been in the 80s in North Bay, Ontario. It's got to the 40s, and now it's going to be back in the 80s. So I expect a big push to the north here as well after they push all this to the south. But the super clear spot here was pushed out by their technology, as I just showed here. You can see it when it turns on and pushes it right there. It is pushing everything to the south. And let's watch it unfold today on live on the past 12 hours. I'll let it load, but you'll see how it cleared out here. Look, you can really see how they pushed this cloud system down and cleared out Texas like they've never been watched. Look how hard it pushes. I've never seen the systems push out Texas that clear like that. They're trying to get all this going though, and pushing that cold weather down. Look at that spin. It has nothing to do with a storm. They're just trying to spin the atmosphere down here. That is so unnatural, but I've already showed you the equipment that does these spins. But it looks like to me their investment has changed to the storm to the south. But you can really see this unnatural spin away from the, right there it is. Right there. Very distinct that something is not right there. Has nothing to do with storms. The storms over here, it don't even show the machine on infrared at all. But that's the center of circulation right there in that dark. Here, I'll show you the machine that's doing that. Trying to get the atmosphere spinning. They've been trying to get it spinning for over a week. I showed you 6 days ago in a video for the warriors that actually is paying attention. But there's the spin. That is not natural. They might be still trying to get this one going, but I think they're really going to do this investment here. They call it invest. I call it investments because it takes millions of dollars to create these weather systems. They've been doing this one for over a week and just cannot get it going. See it spinning there. But I think they're going to change their gears here. 25-mile-an-hour winds, and they think it's going to be a 80% development. What is that one? 30%. They were 5 or 6, but I don't even see them now. Here's a couple more unusual spins here. Not that one, actually. I don't know where the one was. I seen one yesterday. It was right here, but I don't see it now. But what I was showing there, I don't know. It looks like they switched gears, so everybody's paying attention to this spot, but it looks like they already switched gears to this spot. And thank you to the Warriors at 9 minutes. You can see it getting dark here as daylight's going. 8:47 here, and it's already dark, and it's still daylight where I was in Alaska. Boy, there's some smoke in the atmosphere, ain't there? That's terrible. Stand by, let me show you something else. The hurricane makers. That I got kicked off of Messenger again. Now I can't even talk to my dad on Messenger because I showed it again. Look at all the smoke. That was horrible. It was 88 degrees yesterday when I landed in Seattle. Yeah, last night. I flew all night. But stand by. There's the big warm up that Canada's going to have right here on the back side of it. See it pushing to the north, heavy, heavy. They're going to go from 80 degrees to 47 for a high to back to 80. That's very unusual for North Bay, Ontario. And the people said they've never seen Seattle at 88 degrees this time of the year. But watch how this is going to be pushed back to the north here. See ripples in it too. Machines pushing this to the north. You can see the actual ripples. They can move this energy anywhere they want. You can see the ripples. It looks like spider webs there. Very distinct. Like a machine turned on. It's going to get very warmer in this area and cold on this side of it. Look at all the chemtrails. Even an hour or 15 minutes ago, they're chemtrailing like hell up here. It is hell. They're bringing hell on earth, aren't they? Wow, that is incredible, guys. Thank you to the warriors that's getting to see